We don't want freedom, we want Islam and the Sharia.
But very often opposites repel. Opposites cannot stand each other. Opposites are going in opposite direction. A classic example where opposites repel is when we speak about the opposite of Tawheed. If Tawheed and the purpose of life is to maintain and observe the worship of the one and true Creator while recognizing His uniqueness, then the opposite of that would be failing in worshiping Him. It would be denying Him, or it could be associating others in worship with Him. Whichever one of these, or even more, manifest, we have a case where the opposite of Tawheed is taking place, and that we call in Islam shirk. Shirk, like the word sharik, yushriku, ashraka, musharaka, ishtaraka, different derivatives of the term have to do with association, have to do with being one with another. It has to do with partnership. All of these words are included and understood from the term shirk. So when one of us as human beings fails in singling out Allah in worship and falls into worshipping other than Allah, or worshipping Allah and then worshipping something else along with Allah, that person has fallen into shirk. And one may say, what's the big deal? Okay, so the person fell into shirk, so okay, let's go have some ice cream. No, we cannot do that. This is the greatest crime ever. People may be shocked. It may be overwhelming. You think of, war crimes, you think of robbery, you think of rape and other things which are abhorrent. We agree that they are abhorrent and repulsive, but actually these are lesser crimes than the crime of shirk, because these crimes have to do with wronging another human being, which could be rectified sometimes, and sometimes it cannot be rectified. But either way, it does not affect a person's faith in this regard if they believe properly. Of course, it decreases the level of faith when they commit these crimes. But when a person falls into shirk, then they have lost the very essence of their existence. The very purpose of their creation has been invalidated and nullified. And that is the greatest crime, because the greatness of the one against whom the crime is being committed will make the crime great as well. For example, if you were to wrong let's say a garbage man, or someone whom the people do not consider to be of a lofty status, or you harm the president, then obviously you may say the same bad words to both, and I hope that no one does that. But just in case it happens, then obviously saying that against the president is way greater, and you will be taken to court, and you may be imprisoned, or you may be executed for saying something against a leader or a president. But maybe no one would care if you were to say this against, a janitor or someone else. So why? Because the position of the one whom you have offended is of such that you will have to bear a greater crime because of the status of the person. So if this is the case among humans, then ultimately and naturally, when that is committed against the Creator, then that is the greatest of all, because Allah is the greatest of all, and that crime becomes at that level. You're not even dealing with other creatures anymore. You're dealing with the Creator. So why do people fall into shirk? And is that something that we should accept and agree to? Is that something we should endorse? Is that something we should entertain? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We have to avoid everything which may lead astray. We learn from the Quran that Allah did not send the messenger except that He was warning the people and inviting them to worship Allah alone, warning them against shirk. and associating partners. وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ, Allah teaches us. And worship Allah alone and associate none in worship with Him. Allah warns the creatures, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ أَن يُشْرَكَ بِهِ وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَن يَشَاءُ. Really, Allah does not forgive that partners are associated with Him, and He forgives whatever is lesser than that to whomever He wills. So the one unforgivable sin, if a person were to die in that state, is dying while worshipping someone along with Allah, and that is a crime. And even worse than that, when someone totally abandons the worship of Allah and worship someone else. So it could be worshipping both, meaning Allah gets his share, I guess, of worship, and then some other deity, it could be being dependent on some amulet or the messengers or angels or whatever, they get a share, or Jesus, peace be upon Him, they get a